I never thought I'd be the kind of woman to dig through my husband's phone, but there I was, standing in our cozy kitchen, the smell of rosemary and garlic wafting from the pot roast I'd spent all day perfecting for our 4th anniversary. My name's Daisy Robinson, and until that moment, I thought I had it all figured out: a loving husband, a tight-knit family, and a life built around our small-town coffee shop chain in the Pacific Northwest. But one text changed everything. "Can't wait for Eleotoro. Same spot. Don't forget our plan." It was from someone named Vanessa, and it hit me like a freight train that I met Derek at a local business expo a few years back, where he was pitching marketing strategies to small-town entrepreneurs like my dad. His confidence, that easy grin, and the way he made me laugh over burnt convention coffee won me over. We were married within a year, and I thought we were building something real, a partnership, a future. My family's coffee shops, Robinson's Brew, were my pride and joy. Growing up, I'd spent weekends wiping down counters, sketching logos on napkins, and watching my parents pour their hearts into every cup. But there was always a shadow: my uncle's betrayal, when he tried to sell off part of the business behind Dad's back. It taught me family was everything, but trust? That was harder to come by. That night, as I stirred the gravy, Derek's phone buzzed on the counter. He was in the shower, humming some tune, and I ignored it at first. But it kept buzzing, 3 times, each marked urgent from this Vanessa. I told myself I was just being helpful. Maybe it was work. Derek had been staying late at his consulting firm, talking about a big pitch that demanded his attention. I believed him. I always did. But when I unlocked his phone, his password was still our wedding date. Those words stared back at me. Same spot. Our plan. My hands shook, and the kitchen, with its warm oak cabinets and the anniversary candles I'd set out, felt like it was closing in. The front door creaked open, and I fumbled to put the phone back. Derek strolled in, his dark hair damp, wearing the sweater I'd bought him last winter. "Smells like heaven in here, babe," he said, wrapping his arms around me. His cologne, usually my favorite, made my skin crawl. I forced a smile, gripping the wooden spoon. "It's our anniversary. Had to go all out." He kissed my neck, but his phone buzzed again, and I felt him tense. "Everything okay?" I asked, keeping my voice light. He stepped back, running a hand through his hair, a nervous habit I'd always found endearing. "Yeah, just work. Thompson's got me on a tight deadline. Actually, I might need to head out after dinner. Client meeting Eleotoro." "On our anniversary?" My voice cracked, betraying me. He flashed that grin, the one that used to make my heart flip. "I'll make it up to you, Daisy. Promise. Big weekend plans, just us." He grabbed his phone, his fingers moving too fast over the screen, and I knew he was checking that message. "Who's Vanessa?" I blurted, stirring the gravy too hard. He froze just for a second. "New client." "Why?" His tone was casual, but his eyes didn't meet mine. "Just curious." "She seems urgent." I watched him closely, waiting for a crack in that perfect facade. "Business, babe. You know how it is." He kissed my cheek and headed for the door, briefcase in hand. "Don't wait up." The door clicked shut, and I stood there, the roast burning, the candles flickering, and my heart breaking. I wasn't just cooking dinner anymore. I was cooking up a storm of doubt. I pulled out my phone and texted Nate, my oldest friend. "Need to talk. Something's wrong." Sunday brunch at my parents' house was usually my happy place. Mom's famous quiche, Dad's bad jokes, and the smell of fresh coffee from our family's roastery. But that morning, a few days after our ruined anniversary, I could barely choke down a bite. Derek sat across from me, charming my family with stories about his latest marketing wins. But every time he touched his phone, my SLEO tack twisted. I kept seeing that text from Vanessa, replaying his excuses, and wondering who the man I married really was. "Daisy, you're quiet today," Mom said, her eyes soft with concern. She'd always had a knack for reading me, probably from years of teaching high school. Before I could answer, Dad cleared his throat, his presence filling the room like always. "Got some news that might perk everyone up," he said, grinning at Derek. "Robinson's Brew is going big, California big. We're expanding to the coast, and Derek, I want you to lead it. My fork hit the plate with a clink. Derek's face lit up, but not with the warmth I used to see when he looked at me. Walter, that's incredible, he said, reaching for my hand under the table. His touch felt like a lie.
I'm honored.
Honored, I muttered, pulling my hand back. You never mentioned wanting to leave Washington. Derek's smile faltered, a flash of irritation in his eyes. It's just an opportunity, babe. We could start fresh. Your freelance design works portable, right? Start fresh. The words hit like a slap. Was that what his late nights were about? Planning a new life without me? Dad started talking about logistics, storefronts, suppliers, but I was stuck on Derek's words, my mind racing. My phone buzzed with a text from Nate. You okay? Coffee later. Speaking of work, Derek cut in, his voice smooth. I might need to step out early. Client meeting to prep for. On a Sunday? Mom asked, her brow creasing. With Vanessa? I couldn't stop myself. Derek's grip on his glass tightened. Different client. Thompson account. His laugh was forced, and I saw Mom glance at me, her worry growing. Dad nodded, oblivious. Business never stops, right, Derek? I typed back to Nate. Usual spot. 1 hour. Pleased, AS. Dad droned on about profit margins. Derek whispered. Everything okay, Daisy? I met his eyes, searching for the man who'd promised me forever. You tell me, Derek. Is it? His phone buzzed in his pocket, and though he didn't check it, his jaw clenched. I wasn't imagining it anymore. The man next to me was hiding something, and I was done playing the trusting wife. I needed answers, and I needed them now. The coffee shop where Nate and I used to cram for exams was the same as ever. Worn wooden tables, the hum of espresso machines, and the smell of roasted beans. Nate was already there, his messy blonde hair and steady hazel eyes a comfort I hadn't realized I needed. You look like you haven't slept in days, he said, sliding my chai latte across the table. What's going on, Daisy? I wrapped my hands around the mug, the warmth grounding me. Have you ever looked at someone you love and realized you don't know them at all? Nate leaned forward, his barista apron still tied on from his shift. What did Derek do? Before I could answer, I spotted her, a woman in a sleek navy coat, ordering at the counter. Her dark hair was pulled back, her posture all business, but it was the way she smiled at her phone that stopped me cold. That's her, I whispered, my grip tightening. Vanessa. Nate followed my gaze. You know her? Not exactly. Her name's on Derek's phone. Vanessa Reed, financial advisor. I looked her up. She's married, Nate. My voice broke. And I think she's meeting him now on a Sunday. We watched as Vanessa answered a call, her laugh sharp and confident. The office view's perfect, she said, grabbing her coffee. I'm on my way. He thinks I'm with a client. Nate's eyes narrowed. Want me to tail her? No, I said, surprising myself with my resolve. I need to do this myself. But first, I need to know everything. I'd already found Vanessa's social media, polished photos, a perfect life, but her husband's profile mentioned a tech job. I think Derek's planning something bigger than an affair. Something with Dad's business. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. We need to talk. I'm Elliot, Vanessa's husband. An hour later, I was at a quiet diner, sitting across from Elliot Carver. He was tall, with tired eyes and hands that fidgeted with his coffee cup. They've been at this for months, he said, sliding a folder toward me. Vanessa's been moving money, setting up accounts I can't touch. Sound familiar? I opened the folder, bank statements, emails between Derek and Vanessa about the California expansion, property listings. How'd you get this? I asked. Cybersecurity's my job. Vanessa's sloppy with her passwords. He leaned in. But your family's business. What's their angle? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed again. Mom, your dad's calling a board meeting Eleotoro. Derek's pushing to fast-track the expansion.
Come home.
They're moving fast, I said, showing Elliot the text. He pulled out his phone, playing a recording of Vanessa's voice. Once the funds transfer, we're gone. Derek's got the perfect cover with his wife's family. My hands shook. They're stealing from Dad and vanishing. Elliot's voice was steady but kind. We can stop them, Daisy, but we need hard proof. Something they can't wiggle out of. I nodded, my fear turning to fire. Elio Toro's board meeting. Derek will be distracted. We can search their place. Elliot's eyes met mine. For our families, he said. But as I thought of Derek's lies, I wondered if family was all I was fighting for. I finally worked up the nerve to confront Derek a few nights later, but he wasn't home. Instead, I found a receipt in his coat pocket. Dinner for two at a fancy Seattle restaurant, time-stamped from the night he'd claimed to be working late. My hand shook as I read it. 2 glasses of Pinot Noir, Vanessa's favorite dessert. When the door opened, Derek walked in, loosening his tie. He stopped dead when he saw me holding the receipt, his coat still in my hand. Snooping now, Daisy? His voice was calm, too calm. Enjoy your client dinner last night? I held up the receipt. The one with Vanessa's favorite tiramisu? His face paled, but he recovered fast. You're reading this wrong. Vanessa is helping with the California expansion properties investments. Stop lying, I snapped. I saw your searches, Derek. Divorce lawyers' offshore accounts. What are you doing with my family's business? His eyes changed then, the charm gone, replaced by something cold. Your dad's business is small-time, Daisy. Artisanal coffee shops? Cute, but it's nothing compared to what it could be. The expansion's my ticket to something bigger. Bigger? I laughed, bitter. You mean stealing from my family? He stepped closer, his voice low. It's not stealing if it's smart. Think about it. We could have everything. California, new life, no limits. We. I stepped back. There's no we, Derek. Not anymore. His phone buzzed, and we both knew who it was.
Go on, I said.
Answer Vanessa. Tell her your plan's perfect. He grabbed his keys, his voice soft but sharp. Don't do anything stupid, Daisy. Think about your dad's reputation. Some secrets are better kept. He left, and I sank to the floor, clutching his coat, smelling her perfume. Jasmine, not mine. The next day, Elliot and I planned our move. The board meeting was our chance. Derek would be busy pitching his expansion to Dad and the directors. Vanessa mentioned a hidden drive, Elliot said as we stood outside their downtown apartment. Everything they need for their new start. I nodded, my resolve hardening. If it's there, we'll find it. We had to move fast. Derek's threat about Dad's reputation echoed in my mind, but I wasn't backing down.
Not now.
The board meeting was our shot. While Derek dazzled the directors with charts and projections, Elliot and I slipped into his apartment. My key still worked, though every step felt like trespassing in my own life. Check the office, Elliot whispered, heading for Derek's desk. I went to the bedroom, my hands trembling as I opened his dresser. His cologne hit me like a memory, but under his folded shirts, I found it a hidden panel, just like the one in Dad's office. Inside was a USB drive. Elliot, I called. I've got. The front door clicked open. Should have changed the locks, Daisy. Vanessa's voice was sharp, her heels clicking as she stepped inside, Derek right behind her. His smile was cold, amused. Searching my place during the meeting? Predictable, babe. Vanessa smirked, holding up an identical USB drive. Looking for this? The board's already approved the transfer. By Elio Toro, the expansion funds are ours, offshore and untouchable. Derek's eyes locked on mine. Your dad trusted me, Daisy. That's the thing about trust. It blinds people. Just like it blinded you. Elliot stepped forward, his voice steady. We have proof. Everything's documented. Vanessa laughed. That drive? A decoy. The real money's gone. My heart sank, the drive in my hand heavy, useless. But then I remembered Elliot's words from the diner, his cybersecurity skills, his months of watching Vanessa. Not quite, I said, pulling out my phone. I played a recording Elliot had pulled from Vanessa's laptop, their voices clear. Once the funds transfer, we're gone. Daisy's family's the perfect cover. The next day, in Dad's office, I laid both USB drives on his desk, the decoy and the real one Elliot had cloned from Vanessa's laptop. Derek and Vanessa burst in, all confidence, until they saw Dad scrolling through their emails, bank transfers, fake invoices. "Explain this," Dad said, his voice quiet but heavy. Vanessa stammered, "It's a lie, Walter." But I hit play on the recording again, their voices damning them. Elliot stepped in, his evidence airtight. "The police have it all," he said. Derek lunged for the door, but Nate was there, his quiet anger stopping him cold. "You never loved her," Nate said. "She was just a way to get to her family's money." "You made it easy," Derek spat, but his panic showed. I faced him, steady now. "Your mistake was thinking family was a weakness. In this family, it's our strength." The police arrived, handcuffs clicking. As they led Derek and Vanessa away, I felt not triumph, but peace. The weight of 4 years lifted, leaving room for something new. Months later, I stood in the original Robinson's brew, the smell of fresh coffee and warm scones wrapping around me like a hug. The shop's sign gleamed, restored, just like my heart. Dad was back in the kitchen, baking again, saying it cleared his mind. The expansion was smaller now, focused on family-run shops, not corporate dreams. I slid into a booth with Elliot, who was thriving with his new tech startup. "Thanks for pushing me to start it," he said. I smiled. "You did that yourself." The bell chimed, and Nate walked in, his grin warm and familiar. He slid in beside me, his hand brushing mine, and I didn't pull away. "Divorce papers came through," I said softly. "It's done." Dad joined us, flour on his apron, pride in his eyes. "Your mom always said you were the toughest of us," he said. I looked out the window, where Mom was tending the flower boxes, making everything beautiful again. "You know what tipped me off?" I said to Nate. "That anniversary night, when the roast burned and my heart broke. Sometimes, you just feel the truth." The shop filled with morning chatter, the hum of life. Family isn't just blood. It's the people who stand by you, who choose you every day. I'd learned that the hard way, but it was worth it. To everyone who's followed this journey. Thank you. You've walked with me through betrayal, battles, and new beginnings. If this story hit home, hit that subscribe button and join us, where every cup of coffee tells a story of grit, heart, and second chances. Keep brewing your own truth, and I'll see you at the counter.